Hey guys, it's Tim from Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and we're here with a very special interview today. Got Nick on here with me, and we're interviewing filmmaker Jon Bravo. Nick, what's going on?
What is going on, my guys? Welcome to the show, and more importantly, hello, John. Welcome to the show. Happy to have you, man.
I'm proud to be here, and I appreciate you guys, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. So, let's just kick it off. Let's just get right into the meat of things with who you are, your background, how you started working with Rodriguez. Let's just hear a little bit about that from you.
All right, well, it all started as far as YouTube even goes. I mean, I started a channel, never even meant it to be where it is today. And in filmmaking, I mean, I started filming on my MacBook's camera. I didn't know anything about cameras or lenses or anything, lighting, none of that stuff. And then as my channel started getting going, I got a real camera and started learning about filmmaking, and I started really loving it. And I basically locked myself in a room studying it 24/7, just out of passion, not because I was trying to make money on it, not because I thought I'd do anything with it. And then one thing led to another. My channel, which was a fitness-based channel, started turning into more of a filmmaking channel. And I had made a film on the WFN bust because, to me, since I was a kid, I've always studied the human body and always studied steroids and what they can do to enhance yourself. And, I was always fascinated with bodybuilding and stuff. So the bust itself, I saw it, and I was like, something in me made me want to do a small 3-4 minute clip. And basically what I did is I made a 3-4 minute video on the WFN bust, and I put it out there, and it was well received. I never even knew anything was going to happen. Long story short, Richard gets out of prison. He's out on bail, and he saw the video, and he sent me a message on Instagram, and he's like, John, I just want I saw the video that you put out, and it was really well done, and some of the information you put in there, I'm not sure how you even got it, but it was very, very accurate. He's like, I want to work on videos with you in the future. At that point in time, I didn't know how big the case was as far as customers, clients, anything. And we started talking more and more, and then I became friendly with him because I'm talking to him all the time and working on the case, getting more details from him on things that I didn't know about. So basically, that's how the relationship started with him, and that's how I started getting into film on YouTube.
Right on. And then could we get like a possible time frame for when you first started working on the whole case, just so people have an idea?
It was right when the bust happened. I believe it was February 2017 is when the bust happened. I made a video the first week it came out. I was the first person on YouTube basically to put together a piece like that on the bust.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was definitely something that a lot of us here in the Wrestling Journalist Society had a lot of eyes on.
Yeah.
So what I also want to ask is that, you spent a ton of time on this video, and you had mentioned there was a lot of edits. So what were those things that you were looking at, that you had other people looking at? What were those things?
Okay. All right. Well, basically what happened is this. When Richard was on my show, when he announced Mark Wahlberg, Josh Duhamel, and Roman Reigns, that was filmed live, and I didn't know the names that he was going to announce that day. I didn't have evidence on those guys at all. In the past, when we did videos, I was sent evidence ahead of time. Okay, but now he's in prison. The other ones, he wasn't in prison, so he was able to send me stuff. This time he was in prison, and he says he wants to do an update video, and he's got some more names to release. And I'm like, you know what? Come on, talk to everybody. I understand you're in prison, and let's do a video. So he announced those names. I had no clue that he was going to say the names he did. Once he did, a month later, I got the evidence, and it took a month because obviously it's a laptop that was his personal laptop. It was released in a court proceeding earlier in the year, and then it was sent to me. So I was able to go through it and see all the orders because the entire WFN database is on that computer, and I have a backup of it. Obviously, this is not the only one. I got a few backups of it just in case, God forbid, anything happened. And I went through all the evidence, and one of the major issues with this laptop was, if you guys know how iMessage work, if you have an iPhone, it syncs your text messages if you choose that option on the computer to whatever device you're using. Thing is, he had 4 different iPhones that had different phone numbers, and he also had a bunch of different laptops. So this particular laptop was synced with one phone, which is the text messages that I showed in my videos, particularly the Josh Duhamel one. Obviously, you guys saw the video, and in the newest one, I restored the images that were in there as well, showing his picture and the bottles of testosterone that I was sending. So answering your question on why the video was delayed, I hyped it up because Richard showed me the orders that he said were Roman Reigns. And now he did that in the past with the other people, Josh Duhamel and whoever else, right? But the orders that he showed me were done with aliases. And because they were done with aliases, I had to confirm the addresses. And now he showed me orders that were done in my original interview with Hannibal TV. I said he placed orders in 2016. So what I did is I made a video. It took me 50 hours to edit it based upon the orders that Richard told me are his. After I completed the video, I talked to my attorneys, and they said, John, without the communications that he had with Roman, according to him, he had communications with Roman on a device, but it wasn't the text messages that are on this one. This was the text messages on this didn't have any text messages for Roman. Richard says it's on his other devices, which obviously I wrote in the video I'm waiting for. So when my attorney saw it, he's like, John, not that you can be liable for doing that because Richard's giving you the information. He's like, John, I just wouldn't do it. And me personally, but before I say anything, so he told me, John, I wouldn't do it. So the video, he said it's my best decision to redo the video and don't put the information in there until you have the communication info from Richard. So when that happened, I got really stressed out because everyone's waiting for the video. I said the video is going to have the Roman Reign order, and I can't deliver. So it really stressed me out beyond anything, knowing I have to do a 50-hour edit video again, completely trash the first one. And then I knew ahead of time that it was going to disappoint so many people because I'm not the type of person who likes to say something and not do it, and I always try to be honest about everything. So when I redid the video, I tried to be honest with everybody as best as I can. I told them the truth. I said, there's not enough information here, and I didn't believe it was right to put his orders out, even if I couldn't get in trouble for it. Is it really right to put his orders out there that Richard says are his, but I don't have his communications to confirm that those orders are his because they weren't going to his house address? So that's the reason why it was delayed.
So what I want to ask here is, you mentioned you want to be honest with the people watching, with your fans, with the people that are doing this. Yeah. Why put the video out if all of the evidence wasn't confirmed yet?
I felt like I had to give them something. And Richard had all this other information on the other people, and the case was never about Roman Reigns. The whole thing I've been working on with him, hasn't been around about Roman Reigns. And then when Roman's name came up in this, it turned this whole entire case, the whole entire videos, everything based upon Roman Reigns. So I thought putting out a video explaining other parts to this story, which is pretty much just the WWE stuff. We didn't get into anything else. But I put that video out because I'm like, what am I going to do? I felt I had to give people something. So I thought by giving them that and then telling them the truth as to why I won't put the Roman orders out yet, I thought it would be. I thought it would have been more well received than what it was, and it wasn't. So it's something that I have to work on, and something I have to deal with. But like I said, as soon as I get the evidence, another video is going to come out.
So with you saying you're waiting for the other devices and stuff, did Richard say to you that there are messages that confirm Roman saying that the alias used is him?
Yes, that's what I'm waiting for.
Gotcha, because that's what because you said
go ahead.
You said in the video, there's proof of Roman Reigns, but you really didn't elaborate on that. And people ask me, well, does he have proof that Roman Reigns was using a different name or a different address?
Well, this is what I found on the laptop. The first thing I did when I opened up the lid in this laptop is I went to Spotlight and I typed in Roman. Okay, and Richard always referred to him as Roman Reigns to me. He never referred to him by his real name.
Okay,
so I was on the phone with him. And he's like, John, just type in Roman in Spotlight. I went to Spotlight, typed Roman, and a contact record came up from him. Okay? The numbers in it were strange. The email addresses in it were strange. They weren't obviously just a regular phone number. So there was nothing I could do to confirm that information there. But his contact record was in there. So why would his contact record be inside that computer with a notification of when his birthday is too? There's a notification on there on Roman's birthday.
Okay.
So I saw that and I was like, all right, I got a contact record, but there's no texts. And I also have orders that he is saying it is, but that's still not good enough. Why? To me, I have to be 100%. And everyone else that I put out information on, I had all that information on.
Right.
So I felt it wasn't right. You know, I felt I couldn't do that. As a person, I couldn't do that because I was saying on this other show that I was on, I trust my mother and my father. Okay, no matter what, even if Richard has always told me the truth, which he has. I mean, he's never told me something, as far as I know him, where he couldn't back it up with evidence. So there's no reason for me not to believe him. But I only trust my mother and my father in the end. There's only two people I trust in life. So for me, until I have something in my hands, I wasn't going to do it.
Exactly.
Now, what as I'm trying to see this as both the producer side of me and your sense of how much you're making this, and I'm also looking at this through the eyes of the person standing in his girlfriend's kitchen watching this video.
Yeah.
You mentioned you wanted to get something out there for them. You mentioned that you wanted to get something.
Yeah.
Now, I just wonder why not tell people, hey, I want to make sure this is 100% before we make these big claims. The video is going to be delayed, but it's going to be delayed so I can confirm everything.
To be honest with you, looking back on it now and seeing what happened after, I wish I did that. But there's a part you guys don't understand. Okay, I make these videos, I film them, I edit them, I do everything myself. There's not even a person that reviews it at the end before I hit publish on YouTube. So now thinking and seeing the way things are, I'm going to probably change the way that is. But I've always just been the only eyes on the video from the beginning to the end. I mean, I live alone too. I don't have anyone in here to say, come in the room and watch the edit that I did, because I locked myself in a room for 40 hours doing it. So in hindsight now, after, I wish I had just done that. But it is what it is.
Right. I mean, I'm the same way with all my YouTube stuff. It's like I have Nick to sometimes help with the live shows, but basically all the other videos, it's just me looking at it, watching it over and stuff. So I fully understand you there. But I mean, did you know when you finished editing it and go, man, the Roman stuff's not really there? Did you?
I knew.
Did you have some sort of an inkling there may be a little backlash?
Of course. I planned that whole entire video. I knew there was going to be backlash. I knew. 100% I knew, but I didn't think it was going to be bad because I was honest.
Right.
And I thought, and my whole thing, and my whole YouTube channel, okay, is about being honest with people. So I thought I did my job by showing people, hey, look, Richard comes on my channel, makes a claim that Roman Reigns, Josh Duhamel, Mark Wahlberg ordered these things from him. If I'm showing everyone that there is not enough proof here, what does that mean? To me, I'm doing my job. That's how I looked at it, to be honest with you guys. I'm not there to kiss Richard's butt. I'm not here to do that. I don't care who, and I said it in the video, I don't care who comes on here. I'm not going to allow anyone come on here and mislead people. And I thought by doing that, I did my job, and I thought people respect me for it. Instead of making some, I could have ran with his orders and the contact record and say, hey, Richard says these are them. But to me, that wasn't right. And that's not what I'm about. And that's why I did what I did. So I never saw it that way.
Right.
Right. Go ahead, Tim.
So like you said, Richard, when he came on that one time and first dropped the Josh Duhamel, Roman Reigns, and Mark Wahlberg names, did that kind of like throw you for a loop and change the direction you were going instead of working on the actual documentary you're working on?
This is the hard part. I mean, look, I'm working on the WFN bust, the story of the WFN bust. That's what I had planned with him from day one. It was never supposed to be this exposing name, because I don't want to be looked at as a rat, even though I'm not making the statements. That's not the impression I want to give people. Making a film and doing things to bring out emotions in people and using things as example for people to learn is what I want to do, and using video and music to tell a story. That's what I'm there to do, not to do this stuff. And one thing led to another thing, and ended up where we are today. So and when he said the names to me, Mark Wahlberg, Josh Duhamel, I didn't know who I'm being honest with you, I didn't know who Josh Duhamel was. That's why I used to pronounce his name wrong.
Right.
And then only person I knew is Mark Wahlberg, because who doesn't know who Mark Wahlberg is? He's one of my favorite actors anyway. And then he said Roman Reigns. I had no idea who Roman Reigns was. And then the next day, 2 days, 3 days later, after the video came out, it didn't start picking up traction. But then I noticed the only traction it picked up on was before Mark Wahlberg, but originally what did it was the Roman Reigns part. And I'm like, man, I didn't know that the WWE is this popular. And who is this guy Roman Reigns? I know Hulk Hogan, I know Brock Lesnar, but I don't know Roman Reigns. So that surprised me. That's the part that I never realized.
So you never watched wrestling before all this?
Only I watched wrestling was back in the day. Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior was my favorite, which is why I put a tribute to him at the end. And Honky Tonk Man, because I love Elvis. So that's the last time I watched WWE.
Gotcha.
It was WWF. And I watched it a little bit when I was in high school, because don't forget I'm 39, and Virgil and the $1 Million Man and that whole story, everything. That's the last time I used to watch it.
Cool. Sorry, my mic busted out. So.
Oh, it's okay. No problem.
No, you guys are good. So I do have another question, and you mentioned two names according to wrestling fans that are kind of almost the holy grail, with John Cena and Brock Lesnar, saying that they were potential customers.
Yes.
Now, how much of that can be evidently backed up with with that credible evidence?
Okay, this is what Richard's telling me. And in my discussions with him, I told him, I'm not putting anything with Cena. I'm not putting anything with Lesnar. I'm not allowing you to say that on my channel unless you think that you have evidence to back up what you're saying. Like I've always told him, okay? And he told me that he has communication, maybe not directly, but indirectly, with somebody talking about John Cena and placing orders for John Cena or giving them stuff for John Cena. Now, did I see it? No. I'm just telling you what he told me. And as far as Brock Lesnar goes, he says the same thing. He said it went through that bodybuilder Grant, who I put in on YouTube, who Rick Grayson introduced him to. And he says he has communications on that as well.
So basically, they were going through a third party
Somebody else.
Get from
third party.
Richard.
Exactly.
And so that the third party can basically confirm it then.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. And I said to him, I'm like, listen, if you have this on your devices that come out in the court when they're released, then and like I said, he's always told me that as far as I know him, everything that he said to me that it's truthful. And the thing is, it's like, if you think about it truly, and trust me, I've thought about this every night. Why would this person lie? He's currently awaiting trial and a sentencing. If he went and lied, how bad would it affect him?
So
there wouldn't be a reason to.
I'm sorry to butt in here, but you mentioned that, and just a couple minutes ago, you had just mentioned that you didn't fully take his word, or you did, but you didn't want to release that on the Roman information. So what changed between the Roman and the Cena and Brock stuff?
Well, because the situation with Brock and Cena I looked at is completely different than the situation with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, he's saying specifically himself ordered the items, and he has direct communication with them. With Brock and with Cena, he never told me he has direct communication with them.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you now. Just
you
wanted to
understand
clear
what
that
I'm
up.
saying? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No problem. You understand what I'm saying? That's why the Roman stuff to me was particularly different, and how big the case got with him. I was like, I don't think it's right to do it.
Right, because it's basically, you're saying Roman himself was in contact.
Yes.
But as far as the other names out there, they may have been in contact with these third parties, but not specifically with Richard himself. Because I know
he said there's messages that people are talking about particular substances for particular wrestlers.
Okay, yeah, because I know Roman's gone on record a couple times saying that he's never heard of the Iron Addicts Gym, WFN, or Richard Rodriguez.
I know.
Could it be that maybe he thought he was speaking with somebody that wasn't Richard? Or I don't know if you really know any of that information as far as the conversations did go.
No, as far as I've spoken to Richard, and I'm telling you guys the honest truth, he told me that on the devices, he says there's communication between him and Roman.
So he's saying that Roman knows who he is.
That's what he claims.
Gotcha,
Yep,
gotcha.
That's what he says. But as I said, until I see it, I don't believe a word anyone says.
Right.
Unless, that's just how it is. I mean, you have to be, because nowadays there's so many people making up stuff, putting stuff out there. And to me, I don't understand it. It's not something I want to ever be part of.
It's true. And it's really easy, because in the same way that you had said, we do have potential evidence on Roman doing this. I mean, I could have said the same thing, and it could have made the same traction. But the difference between you and I is you may actually have that evidence. I just have a very persistent way of telling everybody that I do. So, I'm gonna let Tim take it, because I know Tim has a couple questions that he wants to shoot out.
Just to add a little bit on that,
sure.
This is the thing that's hard for me. I mean, look, he has a life, he has a family, right? I don't believe that. I wouldn't want somebody doing that to me by putting out a story, and until it's completed, until you have all the evidence, I won't say that he ordered until I see everything else. I see orders, but until I see the communications, I didn't think it was right to put it out yet.
Right. Now, has anybody maybe...
And also, wait, lastly,
go.
I have a reputation too. If I'm coming out, right, and I want to start putting my name out there in filmmaking, okay, into making films and specifically documentaries, who's going to want to watch something from somebody who's not being truthful or who's putting out false information? That's not the reputation I want to have in the world. That's not what the reputation I want to carry across to anyone. So it makes completely no sense for me to do that.
Right. Well, don't you think like that kind of happened, because you did kind of on the Instagram mention all this Roman evidence, and at the end said, well, we can't confirm it.
Well, this is what I can say. I mean, I don't think I ever I didn't mean to mislead anyone. I never said it's not real either.
Right.
I said I need more information. So I didn't think that, no.
Now,
I really didn't, because I never put out information that I thought wasn't truthful. Richard's saying these orders are his. I'm telling everyone I have the orders that are his according to Richard. That's what I said. I never said that anything different. So to me, I thought I was doing the right thing.
Right. So was it a fact of, in that first edit, you thought everything was good to go, so that's why you kind of advertised a little bit, and then when they said, "Hey, that's not the right way to go," you kind of toned it down a little bit from there.
There was a lot toned down, because
right.
there was other information in it as well, which I can't talk about right now, that I had to take out of the video as well. That's why I made a post saying it's CNN level worthy information. Right. There was another whole dimension to that video that I had to take out as well.
Okay, so it was basically, you thought it was going one direction. The lawyer's attorney said, hey, we need to kind of fix this, and so it had to go a different way. And kind of a two-part question here. One, has anybody from the WWE tried to contact you as far as saying, hey, where's this evidence? And two, how close are you to trying to get this stuff off of those other devices, if possible, through like the iCloud and stuff?
Okay, no one from the WWE has ever contacted me at all, and if they did, I'd be happy to work with them and show them the information that I have. I have no issues with that at all. I'm not against the WWE, never was. And far as the other devices, I'm trying to see if he backed up iCloud backups on them. I'm working on it. Actually, I'm going away for the next 4 or 5 days, because I need a break from all this, and I haven't taken a vacation or slept more than 3-4 hours a night for the past 2-3 months because of all this. So I'm going away till next Wednesday. As soon as I get back, I'm going to try to see if I can restore any information, if he did any backups on those devices. The hard part is that all the passwords have to be reset for all the iCloud accounts. Okay. And it's a pain in the butt with Apple when you don't have access to the original email addresses. Some I do, some I don't. So it's something I got to sit there and actually work on. I just wanted to be honest with you guys. I needed to take a break and get away from all this stuff for a few days.
Oh, very understandable there.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like dealing with Richard and stuff, are you like on a special schedule because he is kind of in prison right now? Do you have to like work around certain dates with him and whatnot?
What do you mean,
Well,
kind of
actually,
in prison? No one's kind of in prison.
well, you know what's crazy? He actually can text. I've given out the
Oh,
number.
wow.
I've given out the number to people. It's through a relay system in prison. He's a Brooklyn detention center, so I guess
Okay.
they have more leeway depending on the crimes you do. But I've given out the number. I mean, anyone can go and text Richard if they wanted to. And then he has a certain amount of phone calls that he can make. Pretty much every hour you can make a 15-minute call if you have the money to do it.
Okay. Yeah, because I was
So
wondering
that's how
maybe,
it works with them.
maybe the reason for, because I know some people like, well, maybe he's delayed it because he couldn't get in contact with Richard and there was an issue there.
No, there's no issue. I can always communicate with Richard.
Oh, okay.
And vice versa. There's no communication real issue with him. The only thing is we only get 10, I think it's 15-minute blocks. So
Right.
when we do a call, I have to try to, and I'm very picky with the video. I don't want to take two videos and have two different sets of lighting in the video footage, almost impossible to match.
Right.
So I try to cram it all into a 15-minute video piece, which I don't even get 15 minutes because of setup time. I don't know exactly when he's calling. So that's the hard part.
Gotcha.
And where did you say he was? The Brooklyn Detention Center?
Brooklyn Detention Center, yeah. I always say it wrong when I first start my video. I think I say Brooklyn State Prison. But there's so much running in my head during those videos, I screwed up all the time.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
But Nick, did you have any other questions?
You know, I think that's gonna be all that I have. You know, wondering is not only the like I said, the fan aspect, but as the broadcast aspect. I can appreciate the hard work and the dedication to want to make this something that you're not only confident but also proud of, to say that I made this. I slaved work over this for 50-hour edits multiple times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know,
And the thing that people don't understand is I don't get paid for this. I don't make any money off YouTube. I've only put in money on YouTube. I've never sold anything to anybody my whole life on YouTube. Never asked anybody for money. And the two things that I see comments that hurt me is when people are saying, "Well, he's just doing this for money." And I never done anything for money. I haven't made any money. I mean, I've had film opportunities to do projects with other filmmakers, and some of them I've turned down because I never did this for money. The whole film aspect to my life, because I'm a software engineer, is a passion thing. So when you're working something that's passion based, you don't do it for money. You do it for the love of doing it. So that's been the hardest part for me, that comment, and then also the comment of they say, "Oh, he looks like he's on steroids and he's ratting out people who take steroids." And I've always been honest with everybody and said that steroids, which is basically testosterone, has changed my life in a better way. And I know the difference between taking a little bit and taking a lot. And I believe that wrestlers should be allowed to take certain steroids because they do help you, especially with what they're doing. And when you're over the age of 30, 32, 31, 32, 33 years old, you need something to help you repair. And they're beating themselves up every single day. So I've never been against it. I'm for it. So that's been hard as well because people look at those two things and they say them. And I'm like, it's completely untrue.
Right. And one final thing here. People have been asking, you say you're working on another documentary. What's the actual premise of the full documentary? Because I know you're not doing this to just put names out there.
No, it was never done that way. I ended up getting dragged into it. And even the journalist thing. I was never a journalist. People made me out to be a journalist. Yeah, I write for a bodybuilding magazine every issue. But journalism was never my thing. It was more the filmmaker side. So the premise of the entire film is basically a pro-steroid film. It's to bring out awareness to people that these things can actually help people's lives if done correctly, but they can ruin your life if it's not done correctly. But certain people, everyday people, like Josh Duhamel, or wrestlers, I mean, it can benefit their life. Yes, it can hurt your life, but it can also benefit. And I'm trying to just put out awareness on the pros and cons to it, because I believe that the laws that they have right now are extreme. I mean, you get caught with steroids, it's the same penalty as cocaine. So,
Gotcha.
I mean, the reason why it is the way it is because of competitive sports. But wrestling is not a competitive sport in the sense of a non-scripted sport.
Right.
I mean, it depends on how you look, and it depends on being able to be healthy enough in order to wrestle for many years. So if this thing can benefit them so much, why is it so outlawed?
Right. Makes sense there the way you said it. And I I guess
and these names help people relate more. There's everyday people. There's even presidential candidates. I mean, you guys have only seen the WWE names. We didn't even get into the other sports.
Gotcha.
But there's names here that people can relate to, and that helps people relate to the subject matter of the movie itself.
I see. So, I mean, to close it out here, the Roman Reigns stuff is probably like the biggest backlash you got. Would you say the second biggest was spelling Austin incorrectly?
Oh my God! Let me tell you guys, this is the thing, and you guys know because you make YouTube videos.
Right.
I'm the only person. Remember, I told you guys I'm the only person who watches the video, right? And there's so many aspects to making the video, especially with the way I do it. I film all my footage in log footage, which if you guys know what log footage is, it means basically it's almost black and white.
Right.
And then I color it completely afterward, and that takes hours upon hours to do, and that's just one aspect to the entire edit that I work on. You guys know you edit videos, so when I go edit a video from front to back, and it's a 21-minute video, I have to sit there and watch the thing like 15 times to try to pick apart every mistake I find. I'm gonna have one mistake when I'm only a person doing it. I actually spelled two things wrong. I spelled documentary with a U, which made me more mad than the Austin mistake. Because Austin, I didn't pick up, to be honest with you.
Right.
And documentary, I could have made a mistake with Austin because, like I said, I'm not the best speller in the world to begin with. But documentary, I spelled with the U. That one kills me. Every time I see that, I cringe.
Oh, yeah, you can ask Nick. I'm not the best speller on our YouTube stuff as well.
Oh, God. It's almost like every week I'm like, hey, Tim, you might want to look at that. Oh, wait, the comment section already let you know.
Yeah, the comment section, oh, man, they're brutal. They'll always catch it. And you know what the thing that's crazy? It's like, look, I made this video. Yeah, I know it doesn't have the information you want, but I spent all this time on it. And you're going to say, oh, my God, this is not credible because he spelled the greatest wrestler of all time with a Y.
Happens, man.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I do want to say thank you.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you so much for hopping on the show today. We really appreciate it. It means the world to us. For that, we have been Pro Wrestling Unlimited. I have been Nick. That has been Tim. And that has been Jon Bravo as well.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, how can they find you, John?
Oh, if you just Google, not Google, you go to YouTube and just type in Jon, Jon Bravo. With no H, or Instagram, Johnny Bravo TV. Again, no H, JONNY Bravo TV.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, like Nick said, it was a pleasure to have you on here. And
thank you. And I actually want to say one more thing to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to try here, okay, because my thing in life is not to disappoint people. I'm going to try to see if I can work on a video in between time here for the wrestling fans. Something that I'm not going to say what it is.
Okay.
I'm working on something, but I'm going to try to work on something to make everyone happy.
Sounds good. We can't wait.
Yeah, like I said, we're just trying to help you get your side of the story out there to all of our subscribers and our reach that we have here on the internet and the World Wide Web. So it was great talking to you tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Maybe we'll talk again soon.
All right. Have a good one.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Thank you.